Hello there, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. The month of July 2025 is opening up with some very positive developments to stabilize career and money matters, and may even indeed have you revise things in terms of the way you handle savings, earnings, and financial factors in your life in a positive way. We'll also see some exciting energy in your spiritual life if you think you have one, and maybe a desire for travel and learning that comes up out of the blue and invites you to take some experimental journeys into your spiritual and real-time travel. So we're going to talk about how Cancers receive this energy of so much interesting stuff in the whole of the month ahead. We have two lunations, one in Capricorn that's going to be very important for you for this Capricorn full moon is going to activate a part of your sky that connects to significant long-term love partners, audience, and others. And that's going to be a big deal for you because it's directly opposite your sign and will have a major impact in your story. So we love this sky as well for new beginnings and money and how you make money. There's a lot going on. I think I overloaded the front. Forget a teaser. I kind of gave you the full menu. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. We're going to cover this material for your sun, moon, and rising. Your sun sign is your career and purpose. Your moon is your home and safety and where you live. And your rising sign is every circumstance that impacts the character in the simulation. And often you'll find your rising sign delineation more accurate, but I suggest you listen for sun and moon as well. So one of the things I want you to know about before we do the your sign, and we're going to go chronologically over the next 25-30 minutes through the sky for you, is I want you to know just one of the couple of things I'm offering you so that I don't forget to mention it. I'm sharing with you the possibility you might want to learn to be your own astrologer and time your best life in a 6-week live course with me, where you're going to learn some fundamental timing tools that are ancient astrology tools, not modern ones like just transits. And we're going to teach you how to read your own natal chart. So it's a bit of a advanced beginner to early intermediate level. It's 6 weeks long. It's my sixth time teaching it, and we'll be doing this now in September and October. So in order to get a discounted invitation with a special discounted early bird price when we open the enrollment cart, you want to sign up for the early bird discount wait list in the description link below this video. Thank you guys, and let's get going on to the next story. Now, you're a Cancer rising, obviously, or sun or moon, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So you have a lot of stuff going on in the chart in general in your life that it runs off of eclipses, where moons are involved all the time, and also new moon, full moon cycles. So I will emphasize a little more detail on the lunations for you, but I'll also give you all the same content that all the other signs are getting as well. Now, you might want to grab a pen or paper and take some notes, but here are the order of events. As this month of July is beginning, you're going to notice that you have Jupiter in Cancer, which is, of course, a story that benefits you until next year, around July the 1st. So you become more apparently lucky, expansive, fertile, prosperous, optimistic, and you're just big energy at this time. And you continue to receive that Jupiter blessing all the way through to next year. So the backdrop is you're lucky, you're magnanimous, and you're protected by Lord Jupiter. And so all the things I say, even the difficult sky, has such a benefic, exalted Jupiter sort of safety rail there, a guardrail against any real harm. That said, let's start the month and notice that we will see at the beginning of the month that Venus, goddess of love and money and beauty and kindness and peace, is going to be sitting in the 27th degree of Taurus, and over the course of July 1st until her collision with Uranus, she is in an area of the sky from like July 1st to July the 5th where unexpected, surprising developments may occur that are super good for you in the house of the gains from your career, influence and celebrity, influence over large groups, connections to allies, benefactors, and people who support you. Surprise is positive, and even your sibling, one older than you, bringing a sudden surprise, a positive thing to your attention in the first 4 or 5 days of July. It can benefit you on multiple levels of the chart. We can't just say which one it will be because your lives are individual, but Venus does rule the part of your chart that is the windfalls or pennies from heaven. So you never know, maybe some unexpected money coming through your life through friends, allies, benefactors, sibling, older. Also, Venus rules home, property, land, and real estate, and some collateral benefits in that area of your chart as well. And she does exalt your house of foreign travel and foreign land journeys. And so maybe some unexpected surprises where an opportunity to travel emerges as well. But this is a short-lived but exciting and energizing energy. And it's also on a star called Algol, sometimes a well star. But with Venus, it should look positive, even though Algol can bring decapitation. It's not that story. It's very positive here because Venus is in her home kingdom and giving good things to Uranus to deliver as a surprise to you. Now, next of all, as we look at the sky moving forward, and you want to know that Venus will move signs, so watch her cross the border into your Gemini 12th house, where she's going to travel until July 30th. So you have most of July, really the 4th of July, 5th of July to the 30th, with this energy of Venus in the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is an interesting place. It often connects to things to do with what you do alone in your downtime. The bed pleasures is here. You might have more bed pleasures, your own enjoyment and pleasure in solitude, in contemplation. Sometimes we invite spiritual awakening into this part of the sky, but also creative projects that require refinement in our solitude and aloneness. Well, also activating, of course, in a general way, the nodal energy in your 9th house. It could even invite you to some kind of interesting desire to exalt some path of learning, like I'm going to buckle down and study this topic or this learning opportunity over the course of much of July. So you might be engaged in some learning as well, or themes of publishing and writing can be really strongly activated as well. When Venus is here, anytime you have an addiction, self-undoing, or self-sabotaging problem, she might bonify it and try to bring your attention to it so that you can remedy that. And with Uranus following into this part of your chart on the 7th of July, shocking and surprising breakthroughs can happen in self-undoing and limiting behaviors and beliefs, as well as addictive patterns. So you could really cut away from a substance that you particularly no longer need to ingest or sniff or eat because of Mercury sextiling in a general way from the 2nd house of things that go in your mouth or nose. So that's good for breaking free and breaking through on that front as well. Now, possibly with Venus here, backroom deals and negotiations that favor success in the first 5 days or so. I say mostly like about July 5th, to about July the 9th, 8th or 9th. Some really positive upgrade in your work. Saturn is up there with Neptune, and he's like, okay, you want stable, realistic, enduring, and lasting results that you're going to work hard from a place of mastery to achieve in your career and purpose if you have a career. And Neptune is also saying, and refine your vision and goals and alignment with what's realistic, and don't drink your own Kool-Aid. And then Venus is saying, and things we're doing behind the scenes can really fortify that to be true. And she also trines from about the 4th, 5th to the 8th or 9th of July. She trines Pluto. Pluto is chunky money, like a chunk of money coming your way, a windfall, a penny from heaven, some money that could come from, shared resources with your partner, ad income, revenue income from royalty checks, things that just arrive, unearned or belong to another, and you're a shareholder in a company, stock takes off. So chunky money and wealth and power is possible in the sky, but also the hook up to the mini trine, that's a blue triangle suggesting career is involved, is important. It may be more than just like winning the lottery. It may not even be that. It may be involved in financial gains, in chunks of money, connected to women, perhaps connected to career. And it may be with Uranus's involvement as he crosses over on the 7th, a surprise. You may not expect it. You're like, oh my God, what a shock. How delightful. Didn't see it coming. Ka-ching, ka-ching, in comes some money, but again, connected to the career story or the reputation story as well. As we move the sky into forward motion, we'll see that Venus, we'll see that on July the 10th, we have a lunation. It's a moon full, and it's in 18 degrees of Capricorn. Now, one thing to remind you, hopefully you know this, a full moon is considered to be the fulfillment of a seed that was planted in the new moon phase, which in this case was December the 30th, 2024, and in the 2 or 3 weeks that follow. So you can just say, what was I up to in the first 2 or 3 weeks of December that I planted a new seed in my marriage house, significant long-term commitment, business partnerships, audience, marketplace, and clients, and those people that significantly serve you. Why it's the audience and marketplace, it's 10th from your 10th house, and it means it's like the output of the work of the 10th into the public or into the visible realm of the other people who would receive your work. So you may have been realigning that energy back in December and recalibrating a bit. And now you're planting a fulfillment energy. Now, the full moon is not only fulfillment, like to something to be realized or shine brightly, but it also can represent completions. So possibly too, this full moon, which brightly shines at 18 degrees of Capricorn, may ask you to question whether or not something needs to complete. Is it a long-term committed love relationship, a way of interacting with your audience and clients that no longer serves? And were you thinking of completing that energy already in December, but now the time is ripe for that shift? And because as this moon is full at 18 degrees, it's also going to square Chiron. It's helping you clear a chironic wound about meaning and purpose and using your gifts and talents in a career that's worthy of your attention. And with the North Node traveling through your Dharma house of using your gifts for the better good and your truest meaning of life alignment, there's a lot going on where you may shift something in your career as well in order to align and complete one thing to start something new. The 18-degree moon is also sextiling Juno, the goddess of agreements, in the house of marriage, in the house of romance, in the house of entrepreneurship. So if you're dating somebody, this may signal a move towards a fulfillment of a desire to be monogamous, to stay together, to make agreements for contractual, loyalty, like let's get married, let's move in together. Those things can occur if you're already dating someone as this full moon is announcing itself. And in the weeks that follow, full moon on July the 10th can unfold itself over, yes, 2 or 3 weeks, but also over 6 months. And finally, the full moon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn in that career house. And for you, again, it does show a lot of attention to the career in your life. Although with the 10th house also connected to weddings and marriage, there may be also a strong attention to, has some relationship in your life come to a completion phase? If so, are you ready to acknowledge that? That's a possibility. But again, this is general bell curve astrology, and your sign is utterly unique. The full moon will reveal to you what it really has in store. Now, on July the 11th, Saturn will flow to Pluto and continue the same energetic sextile all through the month of July and indeed into August. Because Saturn is going to retrograde around the 12th of July, and it's about that time that it's closest to forming a perfect, but not quite perfect, relationship with Pluto, know that this is a story that's coming back next year for the real deal. It's kind of a refraining from fullness, right? But still you'll feel it. It can be a backdrop vibration mid-July onward to the end of the month, in which you're trying to stabilize realistic goals and visions for your career while accounting for such matters as taxes, tax structures, money shared with a spouse, money that you can invest in something, retirement funds and managements of them, and balance that with some career dedication along the lines of, how do I find structures in my career that work for my finances? Someone just dropped a giant piece of something outside, like, I don't know what, and you've probably heard that. So take it as a sign that you need to like construct something new in that area of your life. Now, July the 21st, well, we're going to say you feel it as early as July the 19th to about the 25th or so. The cosmic lovers start to have a tiff. Venus will square Mars. Now, Venus is really in a subtle place in your 12th house. You may not even notice this unless you pay attention to your dreams at night, unless you meditate, unless you're introspective. But Venus squaring Mars in this kind of chart, more construction outside of some horrendously loud noise, is squaring Mars, the construction god, in your 3rd house. So while some of it's behind the scenes and quiet and subtle, the 3rd house is very obvious. It connects to a sibling, one younger than you in particular. There may be some dramatic changes in that sibling relationship, and it may have you having to let go of a relationship dynamic with a sibling younger than you. So as you'll notice here, that Venus coming into the square is also engaging with the south node of fate and Mars. What do you need to cut and to let go of? Sever in potentially a relationship with a neighbor, a neighborhood, a sibling younger than you in particular, aunts, uncles, cousins, and all of that. And there's a letting go, releasing, severing, cutting. But also Mars rules, Mars is in a house of other meanings here, and Venus could be influencing him for you to, Venus wants something good for you. And so ultimately, Venus would say, to honor our solitude and our downtime, I'm going to cancel a trip that I was going to take with some other people, maybe a sibling, or to see a sibling. Maybe, though, in this case, I don't want to worry you. Some of you may end up with a sibling situation, especially a sibling one younger, then they're having some challenges to their health. Virgo, South Node, Mars, like an injury or an accident, or even a hospital setting that surprises you, and you're having to attend to some calamitous situation in that sibling's life. Again, 90% likely the younger sibling based on this chart of where Mars is sitting. That's where some of the challenges are coming from. Now, another way of looking at this also is you might come into a bit of a crisis with a child, right? Because Mars is the ruler of the house of children, and there may have been some kind of behind the scenes stories going on in your life or the child's life that now come to a crescendo or a crisis. And there might be some kind of intensity in the life of a child that's in your life, your child, likely a firstborn, but any child actually. And the situation could demand surrender, release, and let go. For instance, a child could move out of the house. Mars is in the place of sky that can represent your local neighborhood or the home that you guys are living in, things like that. What else can I tell you about this? If you've been making money online from digital income, borderless revenue, or far off distant shores and clients, you may cut the cord. I'm no longer going to see my international clients. I'm no longer going to make money from that website, from that social media engagement. I'm going to snip, end, and sever that. And if you do that, because Venus is in the house of that kind of money in the 12th, it will be very abrupt. You'll like make a sudden snap decision to cut out and let go of that part of your life. Mars is the guy with the scissors in your third house. Mars cuts and severs, snips, and all of that. And he's in your back, down in the third house all the way from June 17th to August 6th. It's a long transit. And so you're already feeling this agitation in the house of the siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, just travel stories, and there's been endings probably already that you've been seeing since June the 17th, where things have been severed, cut, and snipped in regards to those characters and people and situations in your life. You may even quit some kind of job or entrepreneurial endeavor as well. So keep that in mind. Let's keep on going. Next, the thing you need to be conscious of is that on July the 22nd, 23rd, sort of a time zone dependent shift of the sun into the sign of Leo. The first thing that sun does as it hooks up to, hey, Cancer, I'm so sorry. You probably have a glitch there. The internet died and then it came back to life. So you notice I have a wardrobe change. I was getting ready to go find another place to record. Let's get back to your sign. We're coming to the close anyway. Nothing I can do when the internet goes out. It's just the way of the world. And who knows why in a first world country that happens. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're still here, and check out the things in my description box that might be interesting you. Okay, let me, that's not what I want to share. Not my fucking, excuse my language, messy desk. Oh, here we are. All right. Together without too much of a break between this. When I got caught out was, of course, the sun moving into your second house. Now the sun is a big light in the earnings house. It's going to shine brightly. You're focused on earnings. My internet connection is unstable, God forbid, but it's got 5 bars. How could that be? Anyway, it shows that you're going to be focused on earnings, money, resources, and possessions during the month of July. Of course, that happens every year around this time. It begins around July the 23rd, 2nd, and lasts for about a month. Now, the next thing you need to be on your game about is the new moon on July the 24th. The new moon is at 2 degrees of Leo, and all new moons impact you greatly. you are all about the new moons. By the way, watch out for financial struggles and power blowouts about money you share with another person, like a spouse, like a business partner. That can also happen around July the 22nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th. That's the Pluto opposition to the sun. But as we look at this moon that's coming 24th, 2 degrees of Leo, it'll happen on the 24th of July, 24th, 5th, depends on time zones. And it's going to be activating a very strong career matter or reputation or social standing matter. But from a house of earnings, these are Artha houses. It's very likely to indicate something going on regarding money, payments, resources, savings, financial wellness, career stability, and visions and goals coming true. With Mercury here, it's good for marketing, selling, negotiating a new structure for your finances and the way you make money in your career, getting an interview for a new job, getting a new employment contract or hiring situation in your life as well. So all of that looks really good in the 3rd week of July. And you'll feel that moon that begins to open up this possibility, July 23rd, July 24th, July 25th, actually, July 24th, 25th. Look for clues in the 2 to 3 weeks that follow about these sort of new beginnings and earnings vis-a-vis career. With Lord Saturn retrograde at the top of your sky and also Neptune, also look at things to do with career that you already have covered ground over, that like in the last few months you've been considering making some changes, and now you want to sort of really revise and go back to structures in your working career that you may have already engaged in the past. But also there's a lot of flow here. The way this is going, the way the flow is happening, career opportunities connected to jobs or employment or bosses or career settings from your past can emerge anew with fresh starts and new beginnings as well. And so that looks good on you. I don't see any reason to object. Remember, the new moon is directly opposite Pluto, and it can radically transform your earnings, your residual income, shared monies with others. It's honestly some kind of new beginning over the 6 months that follows this new moon that radically changes the way in which you engage money in your life vis-a-vis your career path, purpose path, or visible reputation path in this world. The thing you need to know about next is July the 31st, Mercury Kazimi in the heart of the sun, in the sign of Leo. Mercury in the heart of the sun is going to give you a check in with the divine headquarters about money matters. It happens to occur at 9 degrees of the sign of Leo. Now, 9 degrees Leo, exactly, not even a smidgen off, on July the 31st, is going to indicate a divine download, insight, or bit of information coming through, let's say July 30, 31st, about your earnings, money, savings, and resources, likely connected to with the Saturn, Neptune in the 10th house, career matters. It could also activate hidden variables, unknown stories, like money that was hidden from your view, spousal shared resources, an old bit of inheritance you never claimed, money that was hidden from your view, also could be revealed to you, coming into your viewfinder, so to speak, around the end of the month of July on the 30th and the 31st. The 10-degree Kazimi also hooks up really nicely, with this energy of support from a moon in your 4th house. And possibly you might find really beautiful opportunities to possess a home, to buy a possession from the home, but coming through in a kind of, it was hidden from view and now it's possible. Now you see the light. Did you want to buy a certain item for your home, or did you want to sell something in your home, or did you want to sell your home? Like this kind of thing where a real estate agent knocks on your door and says, someone wants to buy your home at double the price. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, maybe I should say yes. And all said and done, this can involve money and one of your children as well, and not necessarily in a negative way, but there may be something going on financially connected to home and children that comes to your attention in the end of July. It could be so many things. Mars is on the move. He rules the house of children. It could even be something like one of your children is moving closer to you or away from you, whether they're younger or older. They may be getting ready to move on, denest, or something like that. Or, changing, something going on with changes and children could be occurring, but also money and finances or conversations about the change that surprise you. New information is made available you weren't aware of, and that again is happening on July the 30th and the 31st. Now, I'm so sorry about the glitch. I hope this is not going to derail the video, but please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check out my 2025 All Signs videos. They're now half price. And that means for only $33, you get 24 hours of video content, 2 hours for each sign, and PDF guidebooks for each. Or that's only $33. And there's half a year left, or go get the $22 option for your single sign with 2-hour video and a PDF guidebook. And then also, if I mentioned this or not, but my Patreon community is always fun. I'm a small, intimate group of people where we have up to 4 Zoom meetings a month. I teach classes there that you never see in the public eye. You get discounts on the public teachings that I do. And it's a more fun, intimate space to explore astrology. Of course, all my videos are early access ad-free. You never have to watch an ad. You get it before the public. I'm recording June 17th. My Patreon community will get this video tomorrow on the 18th, and you'll get it later. So all that stuff about me and everything about me and all the stuff you want to know about me, including my website, it's all in the description box under the video. More, click, and everything is underneath there, including freebies from me. Right, like how to cash your chart and whole sign houses, and find your ascendant. My free meanings of the 12 houses PDF guidebook. Okay, everything is in the description box underneath this video. Ciao, ciao, guys. Sorry for the interruption.